With today's session. Today's session is on the basics of principles of medical education and also about the some of the new things that have come up in competency-based medical education. Now, the primary focus is on your exams. If any question is asked related to medical education in postgraduate exams, it will be most likely amongst the topics that we will be talking about and touching today. It is not necessary that you will get a question on medical education. ऐसा नहीं है. We can't. Nobody can guarantee whether you can get a question. You will or you will not get a question on any particular topic. You may get a question. You may not get a question. Another thing is that these particular topics will also sensitize you, because as you even after this exam viva, the next step is interview for senior residency, most probably, or joining as tutor somewhere, demonstrator, faculty in later. So whether it is this exam viva or it is in senior residency interview. This particular session, what we are talking about today, the topics will be the same. What you are more likely to be asked even later in your early career. So that makes this session very relevant. And at this and many universities, we have seen that for postgraduate examination, they have a separate component on medical education. So let us briefly discuss about some of the concepts that are relevant to you all at this point. So let me share my screen. So I think this is visible to you all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So basic principles of medical education and CBME. CBME is competency-based medical education. Objective of the session, I already have told that to do a quick review of some medical education topics relevant for exam going third year postgraduate students of Department of Community Medicine. So the first thing is domains of learning. This is kind of the most basic thing in medical education, and that is the domains of learning. So if you are asked, so as I told you that the objective is to prepare you for exams, so the key terminologies will be discussed. So what are the probable things that you may be asked to explain? So you may be asked to explain domains of learning. If so, then you have to mention that there are three domains of learning. One is cognitive, one is psychomotor, and one is affective domain. Somebody joined just now. Jyoti has joined. Was Jyoti not here earlier? Is everyone here now, or is somebody missing? Dr. Jyoti? Dr. Jyoti, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So one question is domains of learning: cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. Cognitive is the knowledge domain, and psychomotor is the skill-related domain, and affective is the um, uh, feelings, emotions. So some people say that cognitive is related to mind, psychomotor is related to hands, and affective domain is related to the heart. So knowledge, skills, and attitude. These are the three parts: cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. So as we move ahead, we will find that medical education, the various things that are in medical education, they branch out from these three parts. Like either it will be going towards cognitive side, or it will be going towards psychomotor, or it will be going towards affective domain: knowledge, skills, or attitudes. The next concept is about the Miller's pyramid. So you may be asked about what is a Miller's pyramid. So if so, then this is what the Miller's pyramid is, as you can see on your screen. So what we see that the pyramid at the base is the knowledge, and if we move ahead, it is know-how, shows, and does. So the first thing is that one should have knowledge. Then second is the interpretation of that knowledge and or the application, and then demonstrate certain skills, and then finally that is a person is able to perform. So does. So know-how, shows, and does. So, but the most important thing to notice is that even though nose is at the bottom, usually we think that something which is at the something which is at the higher level. I think somebody else is trying to join in now. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Amir. Thank you very much for letting me in.
Yes, sir.
Am I too late?
No, sir. Actually, we just started around 5 minutes back.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so we were talking about the first main concept, domains of learning. So cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain that we have discussed. And the next part that we are discussing now is the Miller's pyramid. So Miller's pyramid basically moves from knows at the base to know-how, and then we see shows and does. Now, knows and knows how are very important. If you see, the major area is covered by that, and it forms the foundation of the whole thing. Usually, we think that somehow knowledge component is less glamorized. कि नॉलेज ही देते रहते हैं, नोस हाउ पे फोकस, बट शोज एंड डस पे फोकस होना चाहिए. But it is important to realize that the base, the foundation should be strong. Otherwise, the shows and does will falter. So that is why in medical curriculum we have so much of the knowledge acquisition, because what we see a doctor doing, clinician, whatever the clinician is performing, there is a lot of knowledge which is behind that, that performance. So without that knowledge behind, without that backup of knowledge, whatever the doctor does will be just like what a non-medical person may be performing, or a technical person may be performing, a technician may be performing. So a technician or the other paramedical staff, they perform many things, they do many things, but what the problem is, that the issue is that they don't have the background knowledge and the application of knowledge. That is why there is a difference, and for us in medical education, we have to understand so much and teach so much about knowledge. But the issue is that after knowledge, the more important thing is know-how. application of that knowledge, how to apply, how to interpret, that is important. So if you see on the left side, it is explained in simple words like knows is fact gathering, traditional MCQs and essay type questions even, but and short notes that we give. So fact gathering, and then interpretation or application goes in knows how, where you have case presentation, essays, and some other type of assessment. And then for shows you have demonstrate learning, so you have to have simulations or skis. We will be discussing about the assessment methods later. And then on the top it is does, that is direct observation. We have to see workplace assessment. If you look at MBBS level, does comes at the internship level to some extent, I must say, but mainly does comes at the post graduation level, and to some extent at the internship level. So internship level पे भी shows ही होता है ज़्यादा. Third professional final उसमें भी shows आता है. But for most of the things it is knows and knows how. So this is Miller's pyramid. So the idea is, as we are just discussing it for the purpose of your exam. So if you are asked what is Miller's pyramid, you can tell that it is a pyramid. It shows the various components of the competency achievement from knows to does. So that will be the Miller's pyramid right now. Then the next question that might be asked, if it is in medical education, the common thing and which forms the base of medical education is Bloom's taxonomy. That is the levels of domains of learning. So we have seen the domains of learning here earlier: cognitive, psychomotor, affective, knowledge, skill, attitude. And let us see further levels are there. So if you look at the cognitive level, then we find that at the base knowledge, and then you go on further build on it, and one should be able, the student should be able to comprehend, apply, analyze. So it's not that you have to learn all this. Please don't learn all this, try to memorize all this. The only point is that if you are asked Bloom's taxonomy, then you must be able to say that Bloom's taxonomy, it actually shows the various levels of cognitive domain, various levels of affective domain, various levels of psychomotor domain. So affective is the emotions, the feelings, and psychomotor is the skills. So from reflex movements of basic fundamental perceptual. So this is in advanced medical education. When we go, then we talk about these things. So for your exam purpose, Bloom's taxonomy, you should have heard of Bloom's taxonomy, and it shows the various levels of the domains like cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. Then teaching methods in medical education. So teaching methods, if asked that what are the teaching methods that you know, what are the teaching methods that you have been a part of in your PG days. So there are, as I said earlier also, that all the things that we will discuss in medical education will be branched into three parts. One is knowledge, one is skills and attitude. So again, we are following the same pattern. And here knowledge part, we have large group teaching, small group teaching, self-directed learning, flipped classroom, and many other ways. But the main thing is large group teaching, small group teaching. If you are asked in your exam what teaching learning methods you have been a part of, so large group teaching and small group teaching you can mention, because lectures is one part, that is large group teaching, online or offline. And then small group teaching is what we do in our tutorials, when we form small batches, or when we have the family postings and we have batches, demography exercises, we further divide them into small groups. So these all parts, seminar presentation, their index case presentation, family presentation, all these things happen in small group. So you have been a part of small group teaching and large group teaching also. In some cases, sometimes you get a chance to be in the lecture, or you attend a lecture along with the faculty and the all the students. So there are other terms, new terms like self-directed learning, which you are a part of in our college when the new batch, 2019 batch joined. And then there is also flipped classroom. Flipped classroom basically means that you have to first give the assignment and then you teach. Usually the pattern is that we first teach in the classroom and then we give them the homework, that is assignment, and then they go, they perform, and then they come back and then we teach them something new, and then they again go and do the assignment. In flipped classroom, we first give the assignment. So active learning is that the student gets motivated कि पहले assignment आ गया, assignment के बारे में ज़्यादा मालूम नहीं है. The teacher also gives some reading material also, that these are the resource materials. You can look at this for solving this assignment. So they try on their own first, trials and errors, and they have questions in their minds. They know where they are stuck. And then when they come to the classroom, it is discussed. That assignment is discussed. And the questions, the students ask questions where they were stuck, what challenges did they encounter while performing, solving that assignment. That's flipped classroom. So flip हो जाता है, उल्टा हो जाता है. पहले homework, assignment, बाद में पढ़ाई. Then there is the skills. For skill teaching, it is demonstrate, observe, assess, perform. DOAP sessions in the new curriculum also. DOAP figures many times in skill teaching. So DOAP, so demonstrate, observe, assess, and perform. So this is a step by. So first the teacher will demonstrate, then the students will observe, then there will be assessment, and then it will be performed by the students. So demonstrate, observe, assess, and perform DOAP sessions. If you see in demographic exercises, we teach them in family presentations. We teach them, we demonstrate certain skills, and then we ask them to perform. Communication skills also nowadays is there in the new curriculum in ADCOM module. So DOAP becomes important there, and in clinical setups it becomes very relevant, where they have to perform certain things, clinical procedures. Even examination, when they have to perform clinical examination, that is also a clinical skill. So DOAP becomes important as a method of teaching skills. Then there is another approach called as Patton's 4-step approach, SNAPS, 1-minute preceptor. So I would not go into details about this because that will not be required at that stage. But you just, so if you are asked teaching methods in medical education, you start with the 3 components. Knowledge is how is knowledge imparted, how is skill transferred, and how is attitude modification done. For knowledge, large group, small group teaching, that is sufficient for you all. Then skills, DOAP is one of the methods that is sufficient for you all. And then attitude, acquisition of attitude, or change of attitude, or empathy, what we call it as how to develop empathy, communication skills, all these things. For that, there should be insight. One student or learner should know, should be observing himself or herself to know what he or she is doing right or wrong. Attitude is difficult for somebody else to point out that so it is important that reflection writing is there. And now in the new competency based medical education, reflection writing is a part. So earlier they used to have logbooks and all. So again, logbook will be there, but in logbook now there will be a ADCOM component where they will be writing reflections. Reflections means they will write what happened, what they felt about it, and also how they will deal with that issue in future. So some case scenarios will be given, and they will be asked about what happened in that. So first they will just describe, then what they felt about it. So feeling, emotions is more important, what they felt about it. And if they find something wrong or something right, so if that situation happens and they are a part of it, so how would they like to deal with it, with that situation? It may be like breaking bad news. It may be telling the HIV status of a patient if it turns out positive, something like this, or some other scenarios may be given. Maybe adverse events following immunization if some parent is coming and complaining, and then a scenario will be given, and then the student will write what happened, and how that student is felt about that, and then how they think they can tackle in future. So reflection writing is a skill that can be used to teach the attitude, understanding about their own attitudes, their own biases, their own preferences. All these things in reflection writing comes out. Then the assessment methods. You can be asked about assessment methods. So how do we assess? If you look at it again, we will be in the same lines: knowledge, skill, and attitude. So knowledge is assessed by the long answer, short answer, MCQ question. All these are for knowledge, and so short notes आते हैं, long question आता है, so you know about knowledge. Skill assessment is a bit weak. That is the thing that we have to work on. And OSCE is the objective structured clinical examination. OSCE is the objective structured procedure examination. And there are other directly observed things are there, DOPS and mini clinical examination. So there are how to assess the skills. So what you have to know is that for knowledge, the assessment method is separate. Now, if you want to know how will a student perform an abdominal examination in the case of a pregnant woman, now if I want to assess that, I would not use an essay question or a short answer question. I will use the skill components. I will directly observe, direct observation I will use, or I can use OSCE. OSCE is just what we do is there are many stations. We break down the exam into many stations, and at different stations, different skill component is kept. So they move on from one, like you see in our department when we do the spotters examination, the various specimens are kept and they have to identify and write about it. But that basically tests about knowledge. If we form stations and they go on from one station to another station, and there are skills that they have to do, and at each station there is an assessor. So it is resource intensive, so it is difficult. Or recording is done at that time if technology is used by some institute. So that is called as OSCE, Objective Structured Clinical Examination. This is basically for clinical. Some people said for laboratory related skills you have to have. We can't call it as clinical. So we will call it as procedures or something. So OSCE also people came out with. So knowledge, skills, and then attitude. Attitude again can be assessed by reflection writing. When they have written the reflection, it tells many things about professionalism, empathy, and other biases and other preferences. So that is important to look at. And main thing is integrity. How much they have written the reflection, how they have written the reflection. So it is subjective, no doubt, but yes, at least it is being talked about and it is being focused upon, because not assessing or not teaching means it is not done. So at least we are now thinking about attitudes, professionalism, ethics also comes in this only. And then multi-source feedback. So feedback from various sources can be taken about a person's attitude, because it's not under one person's observation, a student might behave differently, and under another person's observation, a student might behave differently. So multi-source feedback is important to know about the attitude component like ethics and professionalism, I must say. So assessment methods are like this: knowledge, skills, and attitude. Now we will talk about the new competency-based curriculum that has come in. So one thing that you all must know that in 2019, when the admission batch came in, MBBS admission happened, from that point of time, all over India, now we have the competency-based curriculum. We say it focuses on skills, and there are newer components. We will talk about some of the components that are strikingly different and new in this. One is so before we move ahead, what is the definition of competency? Because it's a competency based curriculum, and as you will be maybe joining senior residency or as a faculty post later on, you will be now teaching the new batches and they will be all in competency, this new curriculum. So what is a competency? You must know. Competency is this is from the International CBME Collaborators 2009 definition, an observable activity of a health professional. So the key point is observable. If it is not observable, then it doesn't become a competency. And second thing is it integrates multiple components like knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. So it is a combination of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. For example, administering a pentavalent vaccine to a child of 2.5 months of age. Now that becomes a competency. Now this is a competency because it can be broken down into knowledge. The student if has to perform this. This is an observable activity. Now in order to do this, the student should know about the dose of the vaccine, site of the vaccine. So knowledge should be there about many things, and then there should be how the student communicates with the mother. That will be important. How the body language, the verbal, non-verbal communication, and then giving the vaccine, administering the vaccine. So skills, attitudes, and knowledge, all three things are there in that particular activity. And most of the activity that is being done has a component of all of these things: knowledge, skills, and attitude. So competency is an observable activity of a health professional. One. Second, it integrates multiple components like knowledge, skills, and attitude. So suppose if I say a student should be able to define what is health. Now that is not a competency because the knowing health definition is just knowledge. So it is not a competency because competency is something which is broader. It has multiple components like knowledge, skills, attitude. So it has to be more than one: knowledge and skill and attitude. If all the three or two things are combined, then we say it is a competency. Otherwise, what it remains, if I say the student should be able to define health, the student should be able to tell what is the national immunization schedule. Now, these two questions, both are knowledge-based questions. So they are just objectives. We say the objective of the teaching is to let the student know about the national immunization schedule. So I'm imparting knowledge only. So that is an objective. When we say competency, it has to be a broad term like managing a case of diarrhea, giving immunization, conducting a health talk at the center. Now, all these things are competencies. But if you just say that define this, define that, tell about this, most of the things are based on just memory, and that is the knowledge component. So that is a definition. I repeat, competency is an observable activity, one. And second, it integrates multiple components like knowledge, skill, attitude. So whenever you break a competency, you know what you get, the parts. Some parts you will get knowledge, some parts will get skills, and some part is attitudes. So before we move ahead, these are some of the things that we're discussing. If you have any questions, please ask. So I will stop sharing. Let us take some questions and then I will move ahead. So Ajay, any query, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Shivani?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Any question? Yes.
Reflection,
सर जो रिफ्लेक्शन का मीनिंग आपने बताया था वो एक बार रिपीट कर दीजिए.
Reflection is basically looking in the mirror. That is a simple thing that we see. So we reflect upon certain things. We think about certain things, keeping ourselves at the center. That we are there in that situation. Now, one is that we have suppose if we suppose you went to the center last Wednesday, and in the immunization clinic, there some child you injected the needle and one drop of blood came out, and the mother saw, and the mother started fighting with you, and you try to defend yourself, and other things happened, something certain things happened, and then the matter cooled off. Now this is something that you will come back and it will be there in your mind, and it is something which usually is not taught in the medical colleges as such. Nobody talks about it. That is left to be learnt by everyone on their own. Now what happens, so this particular component people start realizing, or students start realizing much later in life, maybe post graduation or beyond that. Some might not even realize that this is something to be focused upon or tackled or tried to be understood. So what happens that for MBBS, if we talk about, so let us talk about this example. So you come back and you tell that this has happened. So if I tell you that, okay, you write a reflection piece on this particular incident. So if I tell you write a reflection piece, so what you will write? So reflection, there is a structure on which you can write reflection. One is you can just write what happened. People usually write diary में जब note लिखते हैं कि आज ऐसा हो गया, and you write a diary note kind of thing. So what happened, you write. But reflection goes a step beyond. What happened is first step. Then the second step says that you have to write how you felt about it. Now, when we say how you felt about it, you will write many things. I felt bad, I felt good, and so on. Right or wrong also you will say what went right, what went wrong. And then after you have written how you felt and what went right, what went wrong, then you will write the third. You will be asked to write the third part. So 3 parts are there, and the third part is that how do you think that incident can help you, or the learning from that incident, whatever happened, can help you in future in similar kind of instances, or the same incident if it repeats. So you will write that it is an active exercise. Like you will have to think about it more and more to find out what solutions you think are feasible from your point of view. So that completes a reflection reflection writing exercise, and it gives the incident a logical end. It also helps the person, the student, to understand that situation better, and it moves beyond the emotional level. Otherwise, what happens? People usually get stuck at the emotional level. Like there was a brawl, there was a fight, kuch hua, and then they came back and they're emotionally very sad, angry, frustrated. They don't move beyond that. So here, when they start writing, we have seen that it makes a lot of difference, a better understanding, a clearer picture, and many people, they practice this at different points of time in their lives. But here, what the idea is to teach the student that there is a method. There is a method to understand about even ethical dilemmas. That sometimes should we tell this or should we not tell this to the patient? Should we tell this to the relative or should we not tell the relative? So ethical dilemma related questions, if it comes, they also can be reflected upon, and then you or the student gets a clearer picture about that particular thing, and they can it can help later in their lives. So that is for post-graduation. For undergraduate, it is not possible to tell them ki you go to the clinic independently, or you give the immunization, or you talk to the patient, and there will be some issues going on there. we don't expose the students, or we don't put the students in real life scenarios, so they don't have real life experiences during undergraduate days. So the idea is that for them, we show them video clips, or we perform role plays in front of them related to ethical dilemmas or conflict situations, or some sad situation, happy situation, and then we tell them that you reflect upon that incident and do a reflection writing. In hospital now, earlier it used to happen in between, there was a gap. Now again the MCI has told that we have to do these things, that every student should be allotted, when they go to the clinic, they should be allotted one patient. Right from the admission to discharge, the student should go and talk to the patient, meet the patient, follow up what is happening in the patient. And then the student has to write about that patient, what happened when they interacted with the patient. Obviously, the patient will be worried. There will be many social dimensions, financial dimensions, medication-related dimensions that patient will talk about. And the student has to note it down. And then again, the reflection writing will become important. So the student will feel the pain, the happiness, the frustration of the patient also when the student talks to the patient. So for undergraduate, it is like that. Made up scenarios are more there. But for post-graduation, you can have this particular thing in your setup, real life environment. Is that okay, Shivani?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Abhilasha, any questions? Priya, any question?
No, sir, no question.
Okay. No, Divya?
Sir, there was something written as international competency-based medical education collaborations. So just wanted to know briefly, like, what is that?
Okay. There are many organizations, groups that have been formed world over, like in any other field of disease or health, whatever idea you pick up, people, they collaborate, they come together, and they form different associations and groups. So this is one kind of group that is there. So it's not like this group becomes is the most important. It's not like that. Many groups work, and we don't put them in the order of hierarchy as such. But yes, when something comes from an association, it carries more value. So if a definition is given by just one individual, or if a definition is given by an organization, a group, a consortium, a collaboration, organization, that carries more weightage, that is used. So this is just that. So you don't need to worry about that particular group. Like health, maybe talk about WHO, but in medical education, there is there is nothing like WHO. This is not like that. There are many groups. This is one of them, I must say.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Pushpendra, any question?
सर वो हमें एक क्वेश्चन था सर, ये सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन है सर, उसका असेसमेंट मतलब सेल्फ असेसमेंट होता है या कौन कैसे होता है?
असेसमेंट सेल्फ असेसमेंट नहीं होता है. असेसमेंट इज बाय द फैसिलिटेटर और बाय द फैकल्टी, and that is a very tricky thing actually. It is very difficult to assess somebody when somebody has written a reflection and honestly written a reflection. So the faculty or the assessor should focus more on the honesty and integrity of writing a reflection rather than other things like our biases should not come in. That is very difficult. So it will take time. Abhi to it will just start, and mostly it will be a customary kind of exercise. It will become कि ये कहाँ है, करना है तो करना है, लोग assessment करेंगे अपने अपने तरीके से करेंगे. But the real thing is that one is confidentiality, because when somebody is writing a reflection, you know, feelings, emotions, right and wrong, biases, preferences, the faculty will have to be very much guarded that they should not try to venture into that domain. Try to judge the student based on the things that they have written. And mostly I am afraid that this might happen, and because of which the student will might not write true reflections कि वो किसी ने पढ़ लिया कि मैं क्या सोच रहा हूँ, मैं क्या देख रहा हूँ, या मैं क्या समझ रहा हूँ इस इंसिडेंट से. So it may happen कि the faculty will not like what is written because it doesn't match to their way of thinking. Because whenever we assess, what we do is what we want in the answer paper, answer sheet is written or not. Based on that, we give marks. If it is not written according to me, I will give less marks. If it is written according to me, then I will give more marks. According to me or the textbook. In reflection or ethics, there is no textbook as such that says what is right, what is wrong. So it becomes very tricky to assess how to remove the biases of the particular assessor is also important. So I think we will have to teach first. The teachers will have to do. We have to do reflection and about assessment, and then we should move into that. But yes, it is difficult. अभी तो मुझे लगता है कस्टमरी होगा कि उनका what happened उन्होंने लिखा है और थोड़ा बहुत कुछ और लिखा है उसके एड ऑन में, तो they will be given marks. But yes, that exercise what the student will be doing ना, वो जो struggle है, वो जो effort वो डालता है उसको सोचने में कि what happened, what he or she felt, and so it is not the scores that the student will gain. Actually, the learning is in the effort that the student puts in. While thinking about that incident on these lines, what happened, what he or she felt, and how they can deal with in future, how this can help in future. So that is the main thing that they are gaining. जरूरी नहीं है हर चीज जो हम गेन करें मेडिकल एजुकेशन में वो मार्क्स में दिखाई दे. वो स्ट्रगल में ज्यादा दिखाई देती है और वो मार्क्स शीट में नहीं दिखाई देती है. एथिक्स और प्रोफेशनलिज्म के साथ तो खास करके ये है. Okay, I think Pushpendra. So I think I have asked everyone. Now we go on to the next part. That is some of the newer components of competency-based medical education. So what has come in is these are the points. As it is not a full lecture on all these things, I have just mentioned the points, and I'll be just mentioning some points about these points. Because each and every topic can go on as a lecture, as a workshop. We find that for teaching self-directed learning, many institutes are conducting workshops. For teaching integration, they are conducting workshops and other things. But from your exam point of view, what is important is, first thing is that currently we have competency-based medical education, and what is new in this? These are the things which are new in this. So if you're asked what is new in the new CBME, you say that one is list of competencies have been mentioned. That an Indian medical graduate, this term is being used now by the National Medical Commission, that Indian medical graduate should be able to perform these things, and a list is given for that is the list of competencies is given in the by the National Medical Commission. See, this National Medical Commission, earlier it was called as Medical Council of India. Recently the Gazette notification came in which the Medical Council of India has been renamed as National Medical Commission. So either you say NMC, or you say MCI. It means one and the same thing. The nomenclature has changed. Some constitution and other way of functioning is have changed, but mostly it is the same body has been renamed and with some changes in the administrative and functional structure. So one is the new CBME has list of competencies. Secondly, there is a foundation course thing in the new CBME. Foundation course, you might have known by now that now whenever the students get admission, the first month of their MBBS course is not in anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. Sorry, but the first month is in teaching about skills, other things like orientation. One component is orientation, One component is first aid management, one component is communication, sports and extracurricular activities, ethics and professionalism, so and language and computer skills. So these are some of the things that the students will be taught about in the first month. So the first month, 4 weeks is given to foundation course separately. During this time, the students will not be taught about anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. So they know about the college, campus कैसा है, hostel के बारे में भी session होता है उनका. And if they have any queries, they ask. So 2019 also it happened. 2020 it is happening online now because of the COVID situation. So foundation course is one new thing that is there. You must be remembering it. हमारे time में या तुम्हारे time में MBBS के जब first day हम गए, तो first day we went to anatomy, physiology or biochemistry, and then the classes started directly. We didn't know about the library कहाँ पर है. We didn't know about the other things. But here now so many things are there in first month. Computer skills also, language, orientation about library, hostels, various departments, orientation about hospitals, the campus, and then the other things like first aid and some other things like hand washing skills, sports, and the introduction to societies that are there, student groups that are there. So first month is foundation course. So in CBME, what is new? First is list of competencies are there. Second is foundation course of 1 month has been added. Then there is ADCOM. ADCOM stands for Attitude, Ethics and Communication. So Attitude, Ethics and Communication. A, Attitude, ET, Ethics and COM, Communication. A separate module is given in the new curriculum in which there are competencies related to ADCOM. So as I mentioned, one thing like breaking bad news, that is one of the competency in ADCOM. Similarly, there are other competencies related to ethics, communication. So the new thing that is there is ADCOM module is there. Then another thing that is there is self-directed learning, which you are a part of in our department when we conducted the self-directed learning. So you know self-directed learning. Another thing that is there new in the terminology in the CBME is integration. So integration basically is that there are certain topics where it has been mentioned that it should be taught in an integrated way. Like 2 or more departments should come together to teach that topic. For example, if it is noise pollution, if you see noise pollution in community medicine, you will find that it is mentioned that you should try to integrate it with ENT. So noise pollution and ENT department. So community medicine and ENT. So some sessions of noise pollution, the community medicine and ENT department have to plan together. That is important, so that the student gets the same message and both the departments, there is no duplicacy, there is no repetition of the things, and if something is repeated, it is knowingly repeated. That okay, you have taught this, we know, but we have to again repeat it because it has to be reinforced. So it is a planned repetition, not currently if you see what we find that the same topics are being taught by many departments, and but one department does not know. I in community medicine at present, I don't know कि pediatric department में under 5 के बारे में क्या पढ़ाया जा रहा है. When we will see, we will find that so many things are being repeated many times in various departments. वही anthropometry measure हो सकता है फर्स्ट प्रॉफ में भी पढ़ाया जाता हो, हम कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन में भी पढ़ाते हो, और फिर वो पीडियाट्रिक्स में भी पढ़ाया जाता हो. ऐसे ही बहुत सारी कॉम्पिटेंसीज हैं, देयर आर मेनी टॉपिक्स व्हिच आर बीइंग रिपीटेड, एंड द डिपार्टमेंट्स डोंट नो कि व्हाट अदर डिपार्टमेंट्स आर डूइंग, एंड इट इज लाइक कि तुमने पहले क्या पढ़ के आए हमें क्या पता, और तुम आगे क्या पढ़ोगे हमें क्या पता, हमें तो आज ये पढ़ाना है तो हम ये पढ़ा रहे हैं. दैट इज हाउ वी हैव बीन टीचिंग द स्टूडेंट्स. But now when we have talking this integration के साथ ये है, it is trying to promote that the various departments should know what they are teaching, and so that when the student comes to me in community medicine, suppose I should know कि इसको एनाटमी, फिजियोलॉजी, बायोकेमिस्ट्री और उसमें पैथ, उसमें क्या पढ़ाया जा रहा है, इससे रिलेटेड, उस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड, नॉट एवरी टॉपिक बट उस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड जो हम पढ़ा रहे हैं कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन में, उससे रिलेटेड क्या पढ़ाया जा चुका है, and what will be taught about that topic in future when they'll be going into other department, clinical department. So that makes me better placed, and also the student is less lost when we all are in tune with the same kind of thing that is to be, or what is to be achieved by the student as a learner with regards to that topic. So integration is one thing that is there. So integration, I will repeat, more than one department come together to plan certain sessions, that is called as integration. अगर वो दो डिपार्टमेंट जो साथ में आ रहे हैं, that is in the same prof के डिपार्टमेंट है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल सेकेंड प्रॉफ में कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन में भी स्टूडेंट आ रहा है, पैथ में भी है, माइक्रो में भी है. So suppose path and micro and community medicine, they integrate, they collaborate to plan to teach something. Then it is called as horizontal integration. If two departments which come together to and integrate to plan to teach something, then it is called as vertical integration. For example, surgery and anatomy, they join together to teach something. So surgery third prof में है and anatomy is in first prof, so it is called as vertical integration. But if anatomy and biochemistry are integrating, collaborating, then it is called as horizontal. वो एक ही prof में आ रहा है, integration. So just added because though it is not very difficult, but yes, what is integration? That is a new thing. And change in assessment guidelines. So whatever is assessment की जो guidelines है उसमें कुछ changes हैं. Mainly being that earlier when you were in MBBS and even when I did my MBBS, the internal assessment used to be a part of the overall marks that I used to get in the final exam. तो कुछ परसेंट होता था कि आपने जो आपके इंटरनल असेसमेंट में जो मार्क्स मिले हैं उसका वो जो है ओवरऑल 20% या इतने परसेंट में वो जाएगा, तो आपके फाइनल मार्क्स के अंदर ही वो एम्बेडेड होता था. अब क्या किया है कि द फाइनल असेसमेंट जो होगा, समेटिव जो प्रॉफ एग्जाम होगा, प्रॉफ एग्जाम्स मार्क्स विल बी सेपरेट एंड इंटरनल एग्जाम मार्क्स विल बी सेपरेट. So the student has to independently be there in both the things, and internal assessment, if it is short or there is a problem, then the student can't appear, and if it is below some part, then the student will be failed even after passing, having good marks in the summative examination. So for you right now, this is not a class of faculty that this is just for third year postgraduates. So for you, if you are asked what are the new components in CBME that is there in India, because CBME is there in many countries. In India, if we say, so one is list of competencies is new. Then foundation course is there, that is new. AdCom is new. Self-directed learning is new. Integration is new. And some assessment guidelines modification have been. Even if you are not able to tell assessment guidelines में क्या changes and all, nobody is going to bother because that is not expected from a third year postgraduate. So at least these terminologies should be known, that if you are asked, you should be able to say कि foundation course अब add हो गया है, AdCom add हो गया है, self-directed learning इतना बता दोगे तो it is much more than sufficient. But yes, बिल्कुल ही अगर नहीं आता है then that is a problem कि कुछ भी नहीं आता, क्या चेंज हुआ है, हमें क्या पता क्या चेंज हुआ है, that will not work. So at least tell कि self directed learning है, चेंज हुआ है, फाउंडेशन कोर्स है. So एक दो चीजें भी आप बता दोगे वाइवा में, that is okay, that is good.
Maruf, am I audible?
Yes sir, please sir.
Even if it is not applicable to them, just repeat succinctly what major changes have been made in assessment guidelines, just once more.
Yes sir. In the assessment guidelines, one thing that I mentioned is that the internal assessment marks and the professional marks, जो prof में हमारे marks आते हैं. If we look at our mark sheet, what we see in our mark sheet is there is a column of the subjects, and there is another column where marks are written and percentages. Now the mark sheet which will be coming from for CBME batch, it will have two parts. One part will be prof ke marks honge, and another part will be internal assessment marks. So there will be two things there. So one change is that internal assessment now will not be a part of the professional marks what they score in their professional exams. Usme nahi hoga. That is one main difference that is there. Another difference that is there is that formative assessment, because I think I had a class with you all on some of the assessment, I think, techniques. So we talked about formative assessment and summative assessment. So formative assessment is now given more weightage as compared to earlier times. And so formative assessment is basically like at the end of every posting, we assess the students. That is a part of formative assessment. But the one thing that is missing, we can't call it as formative assessment what we are doing right now. तो आपने भी देखा है कि डेमोग्राफी एक्सरसाइजेस के बाद उनको मार्क्स मिलते हैं, इंडेक्स केस के बाद दे गेट मार्क्स, देन फैमिली प्रेजेंटेशन आफ्टर दैट दे गेट मार्क्स. बट that cannot be called as formative assessment in the true sense. Formative assessment is called as formative assessment because it should help the student in improving further, and that can only happen when we give them the feedback that how they can improve, either individual feedback or group feedback कि आपके group में ये issues आए and this is you should improve in future. Then it becomes a formative assessment. So in the new curriculum that is there, so formative assessment, feedback, so we have to assess the student and then we have to give the feedback. Even in our timetable that we have made for the new batch, we have written feedback also there. We have allotted a session for feedback there. So formative assessment is new now. Earlier it was not there. Then logbook assessment is mandatory now. Earlier it was that some colleges used to practice, some colleges didn't used to practice, but now it is mandatory that there should be a logbook, and some component of the internal assessment marks will be coming from logbook. So that is another thing that has changed in the assessment now. And internal assessment marks will be comprising of formative assessment marks like board leaving and all. And this is not only in like now we do only for clinical posting. जब हमारे यहाँ family presentation होता है तभी हम उनको marks देते हैं. Visits होती है, उसके बाद जो viva होता है उसमें हम marks देते हैं उनको. But formative assessment is also applicable on theory sessions. कि उसके 8 lectures हो गए sociology के. Then there will be a small assessment in between, and then feedback will be given, and then the next set of lectures on maybe epidemiology or non-communicable diseases or nutrition or environment. इस तरह के module चलेगा, and after that theory ends, we will have a short, quick formative assessment, and then some feedback will be given. So these are the changes that are there as compared to the earlier things. One more thing is a skill assessment. They have focused on skill assessment that becomes more relevant during the clinical posting part, that how you are assessing the skills, and especially in medicine, surgery and other department, it will become very relevant. We in community medicine will have to think how we are going to assess those skills. Do we need to change some patterns that we are currently doing? But that's a gradual process that will take some time, but everybody is trying to move in that direction now. Sir, is it okay for them?
Perfectly fine. Thank you, Maru.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you, please.
So if you are asked the question, what are the new components that is there? So you can tell that these are the new components. List of competencies, foundation course of 1 month, AdCom sessions separately, self-directed learning hours, separate hours are dedicated, and integration is there. And integration means more than one department come together and teach something. Till now, one department teaches a particular topic, and we don't know what the student has learned from other department, what other department will be doing when they will be going there. And then the last is the assessment also is now changing. So last point, because I remember this micro teaching is something either in your this particular exams it might be asked, or it might be asked in your interview as you move on to the senior residency interview in the next phase. So and in certain universities, as I have told, that they have medical education part as some questions are fixed for the postgraduate examination. So we have discussed those topics only which are relevant at this point of time. Micro teaching is actually a training technique. So when we have to train a teacher, so how to train a teacher in that technique? Suppose how to give a lecture, how to present, how to prepare a PowerPoint and make a PowerPoint presentation. So what happens is micro teaching is that it is a peer learning technique basically. That if I want to practice, I want to develop my technique of giving a lecture, what I will do, I will ask my peers. I will ask Dr. Rahul, Dr. Somdata, Dr. Madhu, my seniors in the department. And I will say that, okay, today I'll be having a micro teaching session. So I will be 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I will be teaching some topic. And then I will ask my peers, my colleagues, my seniors that you give me feedback, what went well, where I should improve. And then they will give me feedback. And then after that, I will again perform and they will tell whether we have improved or not. So it's a regular process of self-development. So either self-development or institutional level. From institutional level also micro teaching may be there. Some places it may, but I have not heard that it is compulsory at any place. But some departments or institutes, they conduct workshops where they to improve the skills, and small group workshops are there where micro teaching sessions are held, and other people they give feedback, and then it gives an insight to the person, because many things are there that we don't know how we are teaching. Like currently I am teaching you and I will take a feedback from you, as you all know. So your feedback will give me some insights, but that will be from the student's perspective. I'll get a feedback, but we see that there are many things that we can't discuss with the students about our teaching style and all. So it is very important that some peer learning group is there and micro teaching is done. So a small, it is not focused on topic, that how you are teaching the topic, you are having the knowledge of topic or not. In micro teaching, the teaching style is assessed, that how the teacher is trying to, what methods, what tools, what techniques are being used by the teacher, and is it effective or not. So on that, the feedback is given to. So if I want to conduct a micro teaching session for postgraduates, maybe in one seminar, I can say that the other students who are there, they will give feedback at the end of this seminar. So that becomes a complete feedback. But if it is a micro teaching, then I will have to say, okay, you present a part of your seminar. Maybe like when we do for mock presentation, कल आपका एक हफ्ते बाद आपका seminar है, and then I say, okay, 5 minutes just to check presentation style. I tell that, okay, you present for 5 minutes about your presentation. Let me see how you are presenting. And you do that, and I give you feedback on the teaching style, not on the content of the seminar, but on the teaching style. So that becomes a micro teaching session for you, where you learn by the feedback of your peers or your seniors regarding your teaching style, the effectiveness of your teaching style. So that is micro teaching, is a teacher training technique wherein a faculty observes live or recorded short teaching session of another faculty and gives feedback for further improvement. So even if it is not live, it can be a recorded session. You put a mobile in front, you record 5 minutes of your teaching, and then you share it with your peer group, another faculty, and then you ask what is your feedback on this. So they tell many things, that they tell that you didn't have eye contact, your volume was very high or very low, or your slides were not good. It was written in very small font size. It was not visible. Color combination was good or bad. There are many things that in this micro teaching it comes out at 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It is very, very powerful. So that is another thing that you might be asked somewhere, some point of time. Even if not asked, these things are important to know for our own self-development. As if you go on in the future to become a faculty, these should be your some stepping stones, some starting points. You should not start from a blank page in the field of medical education. These are pointers that the examiner might expect that you might have heard about it at least, because if you have heard about it, chances are that you will move in that direction in future. If you have not heard about it today, then it is difficult to assume that you'll be going in that direction tomorrow. So that's all. I will just quickly summarize that what we have discussed. So as I said, that today's session was a quick review of some medical education topics relevant for the exam UPGs. So domains of learning might be asked: cognitive, psychomotor affective, knowledge, skill, and attitude. Then Miller's pyramid, from knows to does. So knows how, shows, and does. So based on what you want to assess, that type of question you have to give. So if I give a question like define health and all, it just is knows. It doesn't check applicability and all. But if you say that the hemoglobin of a pregnant lady is 10, and then you ask what will you do? Now that comes knows how, because that is a application of the knowledge. So whether they will label that lady as anemic or not, which level of anemia, and then what should be given in that case. So you can assess that knows how level. You change your question and you change your what you are assessing. Then another thing is Bloom's taxonomy might be asked by you. What is Bloom's taxonomy? You just have to say that various domains of learning, they are further divided into various levels, and that is called as Bloom's taxonomy. For cognitive knowledge, it moves from knowledge to evaluation. Don't have to learn all these things. Even I don't remember all these things. Teaching methods in medical education, for knowledge it is separate, for skills it is separate, for attitude it is separate. So if you're asked about teaching methods, you just first you mention knowledge के लिए अलग है, skills के लिए अलग है. इतना ही बता दो कि examiner will get to know कि you have an orientation. If you are asked about knowledge के method without teaching method, large group, small group teaching, skills के DOAP sessions can be held. Mainly demonstration is the main thing in skills, you know. And then attitude, reflection writing. This is a new component. Earlier it was not there. So reflection writing can be there. Then assess. If you have to assess knowledge, skills, attitude, it has to be assessed in a different way. So knowledge is assessed by the various essay questions, short answer, long answer, MCQs and all. Even MCQs, you can assess the higher order knowledge questions. If you must have seen the AIMS paper, NEET, this PG entrance paper, their case scenarios are there. In USMLE also case scenarios are there. So we find that even though MCQ, but it can check the knows how component. So you change the question and you change the thinking of the student. Then skills, if you have to assess skills, then you have to ask the student to perform, and then you have to observe. So it can be in various components like OSCE or direct observation, you can assess the skills. And then attitude can be assessed by reflection writing and feedback from various sources. So if I want to know what is if you want to know, why should I want to know every time? If you want to know what is Dr. Amir's attitude, so you can ask many people. You can ask my family, you can ask my colleagues, you can ask my seniors, you can ask my students, you can ask that. So you can ask the non-teaching staff. So this will give you a multi-source feedback about me. So when you have to check about attitude, you have to do the multi-source feedback helps you. Multi-source, there's no fixed number, but more than one source, and all those who with whom that person comes into contact. फॉर एग्जांपल इंटर्न्स के बारे में अगर फीडबैक लेना है तो हम रेजिडेंट से फीडबैक में ले सकता हूँ, नॉन टीचिंग स्टाफ से फीडबैक ले सकता हूँ, पेशेंट से फीडबैक ले सकता हूँ, मेडिकल ऑफिसर से फीडबैक ले सकता हूँ, तो मुझे आइडिया लग जाएगा कि ये इंटर्न या पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट का एटीट्यूड किस तरह का है. So competency based curriculum came in 2009 and I told you MCI has been renamed to NMC. So 2019 से ही आया है and focus is on skills and there are newer components. Competency is an observable activity and it integrates knowledge, skill and attitude. The new components are there. These are the new components. List of competencies, foundation course, ADCOM, self-directed learning, integration, change in assessment guideline. For each of these things that I have mentioned here and many others, we have 2 hour, 3 hour sessions for faculty development programs. So don't worry about that you don't know much about it, because it is not expected from you at this point of time. What is expected that at least you have heard of these terms. That is much more than sufficient at this point of time for you all. So with that, I end today's session. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we can call it a day. I will ask one by one if you have any questions. Dr. Priya, any query?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Pushpendra.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है, मतलब जैसे कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन में स्पेशल कुछ चेंज हुआ है क्या? जैसे पहले 3rd ईयर से स्टार्ट करते थे, फिर 1st ईयर से स्टार्ट करने लगे, मतलब कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन, तो इसमें सर कुछ चेंज हुआ है क्या इसका?
ओके, गुड क्वेश्चन. कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन में नहीं चेंज हुआ है. वो जैसे स्टार्ट होता था वैसे ही स्टार्ट होता और वहीं पर एंड होता था जहां एंड होता. पहले होता था 3rd प्रॉफ पार्ट 1, वहीं पर एंड हो रहा है, जैसे हम मिनी प्रॉफ भी कहते हैं. बट फॉरेंसिक मेडिसिन में चेंज हुआ है. बस एक ही सब्जेक्ट में चेंज हुआ है, ये ड्यूरेशन. वो फॉरेंसिक मेडिसिन पहले 2nd प्रॉफ में शुरू होता था और 2nd प्रॉफ में खत्म होता था. बट नाउ फॉरेंसिक मेडिसिन स्टार्ट्स इन 2nd प्रॉफ and ends with community medicine, that is mini prof. So ophthalmology, ENT and this community medicine and forensic medicine भी आ गया साथ में. तो 3rd prof part 1 तक forensic medicine जा रहा है, but community medicine में duration में ऐसा तक नहीं change हुआ है. एक change हुआ है community medicine में, वो ये हुआ है कि number of hours, lecture के hours कम कर दिए गए. Because they have given hours to self-directed learning, they have given hours to ADCOM module. So what has happened is the hours of lectures have reduced. So that is the only change that is there. But otherwise, with regards to where it starts, where it ends, community medicine में उस तरह का change नहीं है. Thank you, Pushpendra.
Thank you.
Dr. Ajay, any query?
Yes, sir. Sir, in micro teaching, you told this is the teaching training for the teachers, and the feedback is given by the colleagues. Sir, in this case, if we are looking the feedback in term of the results of the students. So I think that one is the good. Just like the colleague, they are giving the feedback. They already know the topic and the level and the IQ is equivalent to that person who is teaching and who is telling the module all things. Sir, student के result से अगर देखी जाए feedback, वो ज़्यादा better नहीं रहेगी sir?
So see, when that's an interesting way to look at it, that how you are looking at it, and it's a unique way to look at it, and that is what is important. In micro teaching, when we take feedback from colleagues, you know, first of all, it is a safe environment and the diverse views come up. Even though what you have told is that it will be similar. It is not similar. मतलब वो IQ सेम होता है और ये सब सेम होता है तो इसलिए वो फीडबैक वैसे ही देंगे. It is not like that. This is something that theoretically it might be difficult to understand as you are struggling to understand. But if we perform it and see the results, then we find that the effectiveness of this particular technique, that is micro teaching, I speak with some conviction because I have done it. I've gone through it more than once at different platforms. So I speak with conviction that how it helps. The other part, that is another part of student assessment and seeing the effectiveness of the teacher from the स्टूडेंट्स पर्सपेक्टिव कि स्टूडेंट के मार्क्स अच्छे आए तो उसका मतलब टीचर ने अच्छा पढ़ाया, स्टूडेंट्स के मार्क्स खराब आए इसका मतलब टीचर ने खराब पढ़ाया. दिस इज नॉट अ वेरी सच अ सिंपलिस्टिक और लीनियर assumption. It can't be told. There are many things that goes between what teacher has taught and how student has learned, and that is why what we are coming up to is the learner centered and the active learning processes. So it may happen that the success or the scores of the students that we see on the paper, एक स्टूडेंट आता है वो वाइवा देता है और जाता है, उसको 20 में से 17 मिल गए. ये नहीं कह सकते कि उसको वो अच्छा पढ़ाया ही गया था. ये assumption होगा कि ये इसको अच्छा पढ़ाया ही गया था. या अगर उसको कम मिल गए तो ये होगा कि उसको वो कम अच्छा पढ़ाया गया था. ये assumption है और ये dangerous assumption भी है. ये हम लिंक कर रहे हैं just based because we think it might be directly linked. होना तो चाहिए but there are many things that goes between. अभी हमारा जो assessment process भी है वो इतना robust नहीं है और इतना aligned नहीं है teaching से. कई बार तो पढ़ाया भी कुछ जाता है और पूछा कुछ और जाता है, ये भी होता है. So till the time that we have a very ideal controlled scenario where we have a control over everything that is happening from what is being taught to what is being assessed to how it is being assessed, because the method of what technique of assessment you are using for skill assessment, whether you are using that technique, for knowledge assessment, whether you are using that technique, even for teaching, whether you are using those techniques. So till the time that happens, so assessment brings in a new thing in the game, assessment, because assessment technique में अपने limitations और strength है उसके. So here we are talking about teaching style. So when we are talking about teaching style, it is good that some feedback is given. So at the end of the session, you can take feedback from the students, but feedback from the students will give you one dimension. The other dimension, when the faculty or the peer, they sit around you and then they give feedback, saying that it will be useless, it will be not helpful, it will be nothing different or nothing new, is not correct, because we have seen that it is different, it is new, and it is helpful also. So it helps to improve the teaching style of the teacher. So I would say, Ajay, that the next time, maybe अब तो एग्जाम है आपके, but after exam sometimes, कोई एक 5-10 मिनट का प्रेजेंटेशन अपने कलीग्स के साथ करना, सामने करना, और उनको बोलना, सबको बैठाना आसपास और कहना आप लोग देखो सेशन और उसके बाद मुझे फीडबैक दो इसके मेरे टीचिंग स्टाइल पे. So you will see that whether this assumption that you have right now, कि it will not be something different, it will not be new, it will not be useful, whether it is really true or not. So let us try to find evidence by doing it. I think that should be convincing, and if you still find it is not new or it is not useful, that is okay, that is perfectly fine. But assessment के basis पर कहना कि उसको पढ़ाया अच्छा गया नहीं गया, that throws another new thing in the whole ecosystem. वहाँ पर assessment की techniques की validity, reliability also comes in question. Examiner की reliability और validity आ जाती है question में. बहुत सारे और फैक्टर्स आ जाते हैं क्वेश्चन में. So that is why it is difficult to say that is the best way to know how the student is being taught. Teaching styles also need to be focused upon, and the first step to move into that direction is having some micro teaching sessions. Yes, definitely the end user is a student, so in the long run we should definitely plan for having betterment of student assessment, student scores in the future. That should definitely be a long-term plan. I'm not ignoring that, but one thing cannot replace another completely. Both are important in their own ways, in their own spheres. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you for that question. It was interesting for me to struggle also to think about the response.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Then और किससे डॉक्टर नौदिबिया पूछ लिया मैं तुमसे कि नहीं?
No question, sir.
Okay, Abhilasha.
Yes, sir. Sir, I just wanted to know, sir, like you listed out a newer components in CBME, and the first component was list of competencies. I just wanted to know 1 or 2 examples so that it will be easy for me to remember these components. List of competencies.
List of competencies आपको because offhand तो I don't remember list of competencies, but I can tell you right now. Just hold on. So these are the volumes. 3 volumes are there. 1, 2, and then there is 3. So 3 volumes hai from MCI, and these volumes have the competencies mentioned. Volume 1 is the preclinical subject basically. Volume 2 is the medical and allied subjects, and volume 3 is the surgical and allied subjects. So if we look at volume 2, where community medicine is there and other things are also there. So if I mention, they have mentioned certain competencies. For example, one competency in community medicine they have mentioned is demonstrate the important aspects of the doctor-patient relationship in a simulated environment. So this is one competency they have mentioned. Then another competency they have mentioned is describe and discuss the concepts, principles of health and the principles of health promotion and education, IEC, and behavior change communication. Another concept is enumerate and describe health indicators. So there is whatever things we have been taught earlier, now they have made it point-wise competencies. They are trying to make it more structured, so that more uniformity is there across the various medical colleges. Now we have around 560 medical colleges all over India, and it is moving up fast, the number. And around 86,000 MBBS seats are there, I think. So in order to have some degree of uniformity and standardization, there's an effort. This is an effort to do that. These all the competencies have been listed. I'll just show you. There's a competency table here, if you can see. So the competency number and the competency is mentioned, and further other things are mentioned, like suggested teaching learning method, assessment method, integration, what is there. Another another competency I can tell from community medicine is demonstrate and describe the steps in evaluation of health education and health promotion programs. Describe the standard of housing and the effect of housing on health. So इस तरीके से बहुत सारे competency बनाए हुए हैं. So these are some of the examples. I don't remember, so I have to see and I have to tell. And now these competencies we have broken down into objectives, small objectives. So some competency have been broken down into 2 objectives. Some have been broken down to 3 objectives. इस तरह करके we have broken down into objectives. Is it okay, Abhilasha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now I remember, like, 2019 when this curriculum came, we have been given, we were given like training for this, and the same kind of exercises we have already done. So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bilash. Jyoti, any question? If I have.
No question, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so I think I have asked everybody. कोई किसी को कोई question है? If not, then I think, sir, any comment? I think Santosh is also here. Sorry, I did not see him somewhere. Santosh, हाँ, Santosh का यहाँ display में नहीं आता. Santosh, any queries?
Definitely, sir. No,
Please,
no question, sir.
no, please don't think that I ignored you. Huh?
No issue. No question. Fine.
Okay, thank you. Sir, I think so from my side, this is over. Any comments from your side, sir?
मारूफ, आपने बहुत कम वक्त में बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें बहुत अच्छे से कवर कर दी हैं और मेरे ख्याल से ये काफ़ी हेल्पफुल रहेगा। अगर आपने इसको एग्जॉस्टिव बनाया होता तो इसको फिर इससे टेक होम निकालने में बच्चों को बहुत मुश्किलात आती। तो जो इतना छोटा सा और आपने बहुत अच्छे से रख दिया है, मेरे ख्याल से एक चीज़ और आप कर दो अगर, तो ये सोने पे सुहागा हो जाएगा, क्योंकि इसमें मदद की है तो पुष्पेंद्र के सवाल ने और अभिलाषा के सवाल ने। अजय ने भी मदद की, लेकिन अजय ने मदद कम की, मुश्किल में आपको डाल दिया था थोड़ी देर के लिए, और वो मुश्किल हम सबके साथ बनी रहे तो अच्छा है, क्योंकि वो किस तरह से हम मतलब अजय भी काफ़ी डॉगडली डिफेंड कर सकता है अपने व्यू पॉइंट को अभी भी आगे जा करके, कि अगर बच्चों के आउटकम से हम नहीं रिलेट कर पा रहे हैं और वो एजम्पशन बेस्ड है, तो फिर सारी एक्सरसाइज है किस लिए? क्योंकि सभी कुछ फिर एजम्पशन बेस्ड हो जाता है। दैट मीन्स आउटकम एक्स इज नॉट लिंक टू वाई, और अजय वाई की तरफ खड़े हुए थे, लेकिन वो बिल्कुल सही बात है। वो बहुत बड़ा एजम्पशन होगा कि कोई बच्चा अच्छा परफॉर्म करता है तो हम ये मान लें कि उसके टीचिंग लर्निंग इनपुट्स बहुत अच्छे हैं। उसमें इवेल्यूशन सिस्टम का भी दोष हो सकता है टीचिंग लर्निंग इनपुट्स बहुत ही खराब रहे हों, लेकिन इवेल्यूशन सिस्टम भी उतना ही खराब हो, तो उससे इस तरह के फॉल्टी रिजल्ट्स आ सकते हैं। लेकिन एक अगर आप को ठीक लगे तो ये पीपीटी आप एग्जाम गोइंग बच्चों के साथ या सारे पूरे बड़े ग्रुप के साथ शेयर कर लो। छोटा पीपीटी है और ये किसी और पीपीटी के मुकाबले ज्यादा मदद करेगा। ये इनको एक नोट्स की तरह से रहेगा। ठीक, प्रैक्टिकल में वाइवा में जाने से पहले एक दिन बस उसको ये रिवाइज कर लें, क्योंकि ये चीजें किताबों में नहीं मिलेंगी इनको।
जी सर।
स्लाइड इसमें आप ऐड कर सकते हो। एक पुष्पेंद्र को रेस्पॉन्ड करते हुए आपने जो कहा उसे एक स्लाइड में और ऐड कर दो कि कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन स्पेसिफिक कोई चेंज, कोई मेजर शिफ्ट नहीं है, लेकिन ओवरऑल जो शिफ्ट हुआ है फॉरेंसिक मेडिसिन का, उससे ये हो सकता है कि अब हमारे पास ऑफ्थेल्मिक्स और ईएनटी के अलावा एक और फेलो ट्रैवलर आ गया है जिसके साथ हमें कोऑर्डिनेट करना पड़ेगा फाइनल प्रोफेशनल पार्ट 1 में। बस ये एक है। और अभिलाषा ने जो पूछा कि लिस्ट ऑफ कॉम्पिटेंसीज, तो कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन रिलेटेड कॉम्पिटेंसीज का एक रफ नंबर, आप न्यूमेरिक नंबर दे सकते हो कि कई बार कुछ लोग टीज करने लगते हैं कि क्या है, 10 है, 200 है, 2000 है, तो वो इनको एक हल्का सा आइडिया होना चाहिए कि इतनी कॉम्पिटेंसीज ऐसी डिलीनिएट की हैं अर्स्टवाइल एमसीआई ने एंड प्रेजेंटली एनएमसी ने, कि वो हम सीधे सीधे कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन से रिलेट कर सकते हैं। वो एक स्लाइड या उसी एक सिंगल स्लाइड में राहुल और पुष्पेंद्र और अभिलाषा वाला वो करके कैलकुलेट कर दिए। ओवर टू यू। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू सर। आई विल डेफिनेटली ऐड दिस थिंग्स इन वन स्लाइड। कॉम्पिटेंसीज का मैं अभी बता सकता हूँ कि मतलब ताकि इनको अभी वो भी हो सकता है इसी टाइम 110 आई थिंक और 120 कॉम्पिटेंसीज आर देयर currently for community medicine topic. So I will look at the exact number and I will put it in the slide, and I will also put the changes related to community medicine, the major changes. So I think Thank you, sir, and thank you all the students, the PG students, and all the best to you all. I will give you a feedback form as it is my habit, a short feedback form, just 2 questions. Please fill it and submit it. It will be anonymous. I will not be knowing किसने भरा है किसने नहीं भरा है. So I can't pinpoint कि तुम भरो या मत भरो. So that I'll share later on. Okay, thank you everyone. So I end this meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.